Hello and welcome. My name's Metamonen, and today we are broadcasting round 4 of both the Xfinity and NASCAR Sunday Series. Tonight it's the final normal season round heading into the playoffs, so everything to play for tonight for majority of the drivers on the grid. A lot of them in a must-win scenario, so we'll go through what the permutations and combinations are for those sort of drivers to get into the playoffs in this last normal season round. So I'm just going to quickly get my game capture card screen working here. Forgot to set it up. There we go. That's up on screen now. So coming up, round 4 of the Xfinity and NASCAR Sunday Series. That's live from now. So we'll go through to the next scene. So here's our event details tonight. We see ourselves at Road America, so it's a road course tonight in both the NASCAR and Xfinity Sunday Series. So they'll both have 10-minute qualifying sessions. For the Xfinity race, there'll be 12 laps with a mandatory pit stop, competition caution in the mid-stage of the race on lap 6. And then for the NASCAR race, 19 laps with a mandatory pit stop, the caution to be called on lap 9, and all weather conditions are clear in all sessions, as well as spring conditions as well. So that's the rundown of the event details there. So here's our circuit tonight, Road America, 6.515 kilometres, very fast-paced circuit, very technical through that mid-sector as well. It's got 14 corners, and it's going to be quite a task for some of these guys to make the playoffs. If they're to get into it, they must get a good result here. In the next scene. So here is our Xfinity Sunday Series leaderboards as it stands, and it's EXO with a 7-point advantage at the top of the series at the moment. He's on 112 points. His closest rival, Someone Awesome in P2, on P4 on 102. Aussie Chopper on 100. Dennis Marino's not able to make it so far, currently on 96 points. And Lord Angel Wolf on 91 in P7. Team Spiegel rounding out the top 8. That's what we've got for the playoffs at this stage. He's on 83 points. We go further down. We got Rojo on 69. We got Morningstar Mike on 64. Peppy on 63. Psycho on 62. We got Black Wildcats on 35. And then Nacho's rounding out the 14-car series here in P14 with 25 points. So we're looking at Peppy, Psycho tonight. They're a must-win race scenario here, as well as Morningstar Mike and Rojo. So those guys got a big task if they're to make the playoffs heading into round 5 here for the NASCAR and Xfinity Sunday Series. So we'll currently have a little look at the playoff scenario for the Xfinity Series. So every name highlighted in the red, those guys have cemented their spot into the playoffs. So EXO, Someone Awesome, Davo, all done that via getting race wins in rounds 1 to 3. And we've got Team Little Bear in P4. We've got Aussie in P5 there. Dennis Marino's in P6. Lord Angel Wolf in P7. And Team Spiegel in P8. So that's your scenario there for the playoffs for it. He's had a wonderful series so far in both the Xfinity and the NASCAR series. He's on 105 in P1 there. Closest rival, Blue XR8 in P2 on 102. And Aussie, after a race win last week, put himself up into P3 on the overall standings with 101 points. We've got Davo on P4, Someone Awesome in P5, Peppy in P6, Brennicles in P7, and then Lord Angel Wolf P12. Eaglewind, he's in the playoffs because he's cemented himself in with a win in round 1, but he's all the way down in P13 in the overall standings at this stage. Ty Morgo on P14. We've got Psycho, Rooney, Black Wildcats, Rojo, and then Nacho's rounding out the rest of the positions in the leaderboards there. And like the Xfinity Series, here is the NASCAR Sunday Series playoff scenario as it stands at the end of round 3. So Blue XR8 cemented his spot into the playoffs with a race win in round 2, and is currently seated as the first place driver in the playoffs. And we got EXO seated second in the playoff scenario. Then we got Aussie. He had a race win last week and cemented his spot into the playoffs, and he's seated third. Davo currently seated 4th. 5th for Someone Awesome, 6th for Peppy, 7th for the reigning champ, Brennicles. He's got a lot of work to do if he's to maintain his playoff spot heading into next round. And then Eaglewind is seated 8th. He's only attended 1 round but he got a race win in that first round, and that means he will feature in the playoffs. So we'll get to the live scenes where the drivers are currently contending their 10-minute qualifying session here. So we're currently halfway through. We got less than 5 minutes to go here at Road America. And currently, it's Aussie sitting atop of the leaderboards with a 3:02.3. And the 2:23.7 set by Team Spiegel is your current provisional pole position sitter. So that might be the sort of pace we're looking at tonight. We're currently on board with Pepe here. We'll get the rest of the information up on screen. So he's currently in the mid-sector here, Pepe. So going down the carousel section now. It's very technical, very on and off the throttle. Got to put the inputs through the throttle and brake to perfection around this section of the track. It's where a lot of time is gained and where a lot of time is lost based on what happens with throttle percentage and brake percentage. So down the back straight we go, on board with Pepe. He's currently in the wars to make the playoffs here. It's a must-win scenario for him tonight. So we'll see if he can get it done. But for now, he's got to be able to get pole position to make it easier for himself. We'll see if he can challenge for that. So someone awesome goes provisional pole. Decide to park it up. A 2:21.9 is the fastest there. XO and P2 with a 2:23.6, the championship leader. We've got Team Spiegel and P3, a 2:23.7, a 2:25.3 from Davo. And we've got a 2:27.6 from Rojo. He's currently getting the hustle up by another car behind him. Team Little Bear in P3 here. 2:29.5 is his quickest. And Aussie's back out on track, but he's still yet to get a real reading on his lap time. And unfortunately, Pepe, that would have been an outlap from him. And he's got a one-place grid penalty as well for a pit lane violation. So it looks like he has exceeded the speed limit restrictions in pit lane. So even if he gets pole position here, he's going to be relegated back to P2 due to that penalty there. So he must get pole position on the track in this qualifying session if he's to put himself in the mix for a race win here. So we'll go further up. So someone awesome currently in the mid-sector. We'll get the second split for him. So he's just come back out on track. And we'll go on board with XO. He's in the mid-sector coming around the carousel section now. He's got the lights on, so no doubt he is on a hot lap here around the circuit of Road America. So and to be able to race bumper to bumper is going to be a completely different story as well. As XO goes out wide onto the grass there. Down the back straight we go. He would have lost a lot of time there, and he did. He's 1 second off his fastest qualifying lap as it stands. Davo across the control line. It's only good enough for P3, so 2:23.7 still his fastest. We'll quickly hop on board with Team Spiegel. He's currently sitting P4. So down the back straight we go for him. He's still in the first sector here. In a few moments' time we'll see what his sector split is to see if he's on a hot lap here. Currently sitting on the second row. Not a bad effort so far from Team Spiegel. He's in the mix to cement his spot in the playoffs tonight. He's got to do so with a good result as well. So currently 1.1 seconds off his fastest lap there. Psycho is also one of the drivers in a must-win scenario tonight. It doesn't eliminate the drivers from contending the rounds. It just puts them all out of championship contention. So those guys will be Psycho having to take a detour there in the sand pit there out of the first sector, and that's really hindered his lap time there. So Pepe moves up in the P5 after his first fly. We've got less than 1 minute to play. So we'll go on board cockpit view with Pepe. He's a driver willing to get into the playoffs by any means necessary here, and he must put this lap together this time around. It's his last opportunity to put himself in the mix tonight. Seen him hit him up his apexes quite nicely through the first sector here as we go down the back long straight here at Road America. He's got no one in front of him to get a draft benefit, so it's going to be a bit down on the top end speed. But it means we're not going to have much aero wash from a car in front in the braking zone here. It's quite a technical corner, very deep braking zone, very easy to get wrong. So what's the sector split going to be for Pepe out of the first sector? He's currently down by 6.5 tenths of a second here. So he's got to have a big mid-sector and third sector if he's to put himself in the mix into the front 2 rows. So it's going to be all the play for here. Someone Awesome still holding provisional pole. Pepe goes out wide through the mid-sector there. That would have hindered a little bit more time off his time there. So currently Exo in P2, Davo in P3. We've got Team Spiegel in P4. So still on board with Pepe here as he makes his way through the mid-sector around the carousel section of Road America. Trying to get an awesome launch down the kink straight here. It's very hard to get on the throttle through this section, as you saw on board with Exo a few moments ago. He went out the slightest bit wide, a little bit too much throttle. And Pepe is up on his quickest time here. So he could be able to put himself in the mix tonight if he can find a few more tenths of a second here. He's currently starting on the 3rd row in 6th position. He's 3.7 seconds off current pole position sitter of Someone Awesome. We've still got a few cars out on track to be able to challenge Someone Awesome, but he's went even quicker to further lower that time there. 2:21.4 is his quickest now. So that's going to be almost impossible to beat now here at Road America. What has anyone got in response to that? He's got 2.1 seconds over his closest rival in Exo and P2. Pepe across the line now. Did he improve? Pepe did improve. It only goes up in the P5, but he'll go back to P6 due to getting that 1 place grid penalty. I'll get the screenshot there. So that is all good. We'll go straight to the race scenes where we're going to be contending a 12-lap race here. This is going to be round 4 of the Xfinity Sunday Series. All to play for tonight with a few drivers in must-win scenarios. Now let's go through the grid. Once again, pole position. Someone Awesome currently P2 in the championship. He's looking to put himself in the prime spot to really put a charge in the playoff rounds, in the final 4 rounds here from rounds 5 to 8. He's looking to put himself in a very good standpoint, as well as Exo joining Someone Awesome alongside him on row 1. He's your championship leader, and he's going to try keep the superiority at the top here. We've got Davo currently P3 in the championship, starting P3 here tonight for round 4 of the Xfinity Sunday Series. He's been a very consistent driver in this series to date, so don't expect anything less than a podium tonight from him. Team Spiegel joining him on row 2 there in P4. He's got a must-win scenario pretty much. Even though he's in the playoffs at this stage, he's got to get a good result tonight to pretty much cement that position. Go back. Aussie Chopper pretty much in the playoff mix as well, but a good result will cement the position earlier on. So he'll start this one from P5. Pepe in a must-win scenario, so he's got to get from 6th all the way to the front if he's to stand a chance. We got Team Little Bear. He's in the playoff mix at this stage, but another driver that must get a good result tonight to hold on to his playoff spot. And we got Psycho and Rojo. Those guys both in must-win scenarios in P8 and P9. So that's not making their life easy earlier on in this one. For round 4 of the Xfinity Sunday Series, they got a lot of work to do from the back of the grid. So here we go, rolling start. We're about to go green here at Road America for round 4 of the Xfinity Sunday Series here. It'll be Someone Awesome who leads the pack heading into turn 1. Exo will be alongside him. He's got the inside lane heading into turn 1. So if he gets a launch off the line, he should be able to move up in the P1. Someone Awesome's trying to hold it on the outside. He might be able to move over to the inside lane. There's no overlap whatsoever, so Exo a little bit bogged at the start. But we got Carnage in the background. Who was that? That's Pepe. He's already out of it. Pepe's already out of it. He's a driver that's required to win this race. And he's got severe amounts of damage on the front end. His playoffs hopes are done and dusted here, Pepe. As we have Carnage in the background unfold. Team Little Bear, one of the drivers trying to hold on to his playoff spot in the wars as well before the opening corner. Absolute carnage off the start. Psycho's up in the P5, Aussie in P4, Team Spiegel is in P3. Got the race leader, Someone Awesome, P2 in the championship. Currently sitting P1 over the championship leader of Exo in P2. So these guys, as you can see on screen, got the teammate cars here. But they're definitely not teammates. They're going to be driving for their own race tonight. so don't expect them to be nice to one another. We got more carnage in the background here. That's Aussie Chopper rotating the car in the mid-sector. So for opening lap, absolute carnage here at Road America. Team Spiegel in the background, struggling to get it back on track here. He's also got a lot of damage here on the opening lap. So we're going to see about 4 or 5 cars tore pit lane on the end of this opening lap. It's disastrous scenes here at Road America. But as for Someone Awesome, he's got a blazing lead at the front by 1.4 seconds over the championship leader, EXO. These two guys separated by 7 points in the driver's standings. And as it stands, EXO will hold on to the championship lead based on the current finishing positions now. So EXO is just going to have to try and hold on to second spot there. Psycho up in the P3, a driver in a must-win scenario tonight. He could clinch on points based on what just unfolded behind him. But we got to wait and see what happens in the later stages because we still got the competition caution to come. So assuming no driver goes a lap down, they should all be able to catch up to the front of the pack, and they'll all be racing from lap 7 all the way to the end to lap 12. So Someone Awesome extending that lead out on the opening lap to 2.5 seconds. So that was a very quick opening lap there from one of our championship contenders. EXO and P2 coming across the control line. So that was a 3-second differential between those two on the last lap. We've got Psycho and P3. Rojo coming in the pit lane in P4. We've got Aussie to follow him. Let's see where Davo comes in all this. So he's coming in the pit lane as well. Pepe's limping his car back to pit lane. And he's trying to hold on to P7 there. He's going to have to let Team Little Bear go by as they all go in the pit lane here. So all their mandatory pit stops are done, but not a scheduled one, you'd think. So Team Little Bear at the back of the pack here. So 7 cars almost in pit lane. So we got 4th to 9th all in pit lane. So that's 6 cars right there. We still got 3 cars out on track. Someone Awesome is the current race leader here. He's coming out of the first sector now in the mid-sector, heading into the carousel section of Road America. He's got quite a comfortable lead over championship leader EXO, 2.8 seconds. And extending here, currently on lap 2 of lap 12 for the Xfinity round 4. And looking very good heading into the playoffs for these two guys. Didn't get caught up in that first lap carnage. Psycho sitting comfortably in P3 now. He's got a little bit of damage on the front end. So I don't think it's bad enough for him to pit in for that sort of damage. So obviously a good strategy call there to stay out on track, because he is in a must-win scenario tonight. So he's got to be able to maintain the track position he's got to be able to put himself in the mix here once we've met that competition caution halfway through the race. So we go further back. There's a couple guys coming out of the pit lane. Rojo, Aussie, and Davo are all back out on track. And the rest of the guys, Pepe, Team Spiegel, and Team Little Bear, all fighting to stay on the lead lap here. So if they all go a lap down, they can all class their chances as done and dusted here at Road America. So we got a car exiting pit lane now. That's the car of Team Spiegel. So he should be able to get out on the lead lap. We got the race leader, Someone Awesome, down the main straight now. Those guys can get their lap back on the competition caution, but they've got to be fast enough to catch up to the back of the pack once again. So, and as for Team Spiegel, he's just got the advantage over Someone Awesome. And Someone Awesome's right on the rear bumper here, knocking on the rear bumper, trying to send it down the inside as we head into turn 2 here. He's going to get the move done with relative ease. So Team Spiegel goes a lap down as well. So those 3 guys will be able to come back on the lead lap. I'll just emphasise that with a message. I'll get back on board with EXO here, championship leader. Just quickly going to send that message through.
Yeah, I've started shooting him. He's in the bush. Headshot.
So Someone Awesome's made a mistake. He's only got a 1.9 second lead over EXO now. So these guys are going to be going to battle for the lead of this one soon. With the pace that EXO's got in the races, he's going to really challenge for the top spot here at Road America for round 4 of the Xfinity Sunday Series. So down the kink straight we go here on exit of the carousel. These guys been putting on a show all series here in the Xfinity Series and then in the NASCAR Series as well. So Psycho currently sitting in P3 still. He's got lap traffic up ahead in Team Spiegel there, I think it is. Yep, that's correct. Team Spiegel is lap traffic for Psycho and P3 there. So Rojo, he's one of the lucky guys not to go a lap down, as well as Aussie and Davo. So all the lap cars will be able to get their lap back under the competition caution. So we're not too far away from that scene there. We're about 3 laps away from that part of the race. So currently, this is the battle for P5. Aussie Chopper holding 5th position over Davo in P6 there. He's got a decent gap of 3 seconds in hand. So he's looking quite comfortable throughout this stage of the race. Early stages, lap 3 of lap 12 for these guys. The race leader, Someone Awesome, currently on lap 4, as well as EXO and Psycho. So those guys all in with a chance tonight, those top 3. I'm not sure if they fully repaired their damage here, because Aussie's still showing a little bit of front end damage on the bonnet there, the left hand side. He's got a lot of graze marks on the left hand side of his car as well. So hopefully he did get that all fixed. If not, that will make his life like a living hell throughout the entirety of this one. And he's got to get a decent result here if he's to cement his spot into the playoffs. So absolute carnage on the opening lap. Saw 6 of the guys come in the pit lane for repairs. If you're just joining us now, that's a quick update of what's happened in the recent past. So we go back to the front. Someone Awesome with a 2.4 second lead over championship leader EXO. EXO's also leading the championship in the NASCAR Sunday Series as well. So he's not an easy guy to get on top of here. He's been very consistent in both series. He's in a very good spot to come out with a race win tonight once the competition caution comes out, because that means he'll be right up on the rear bumper of Someone Awesome once we go green on lap 7. So the start of lap 6, that will be competition caution conditions. The drivers will go back to approximately 100 kilometers an hour, so your rolling start type speed. That will give the opportunity for the guys a lap down to be able to get their lap back and maybe get up to the back of the pack as well if they're quick enough on that competition caution lap. So we'll go on board with EXO. He'll take you on a lap around Road America here. And I'll shut up for this lap because the next lap will be the competition caution. So enjoy a lap on board with EXO here at Road America. Howdy, John. I only just checked that Noto in the chat there on Twitch. Hope you're really enjoying this installment for round 4 of the Xfinity Sunday Series. We've still got the NASCAR Sunday Series to come right up after this. So we're seeing our leaders come in for their mandatory pit stop here. It's competition caution conditions. So this is where the strategy starts to come into play. And for the guys a lap down, this is the prime opportunity to get their lap back. As you see, I think Team Spiegel getting his lap back just there. So he's made his mandatory pit stop. But by the looks of it, he's got to carry home a wounded Ford Mustang for the remainder of this one. It's going to be quite a difficult task for him. And Pepe, he's coming back onto the lead lap. No, he's coming in for a pit stop here. So he looks to really be in the wars tonight. He needs a very good result, the very least, at least second place in this race to be able to cement his spot in the playoffs. Assuming everything goes into his favour. Nothing has gone into his favour so far. He's just got to settle for what is going to be best for him here at Road America. So someone awesome will slow the field right up here. So you can see him warming up his brakes as well. It's critical at road courses that you keep your optimal brake temperatures up the speed, as well as your optimal tyre temps as well. So you see the two series leaders up in the first two spots. Then Rojo out of nowhere, all the way up in the P3 now. He was one of the drivers that pitted in on the opening lap, 1 of 6. So he's caught his time back to the leaders here. Davo currently sitting in P4, Aussie in P5, and we've got Psycho in P6. So all these guys catching up to the back of the leaders here. And we've got Team Spiegel trying to rotate his way around here at Road America. Pepe and Team Little Bear are still yet to get their lap back. So it's going to be very difficult to do so. They might get it back, but I don't think they'll be in a position to be able to charge up positions here. Because the guys that are on the lead lap are about to exit Sector 1. So they've got to put pedal to the metal now if they're to get that lap back and rejoin the guys at the back of the pack there. So Team Spiegel, he's one of those guys trying to look to really punch out a good lap here. So Team Spiegel's going to have no dramas in catching up to those guys. So whether or not Pepe and Team Little Bear can. So we'll just wait to see what unfolds here. I'm not sure what's going on with Pepe.
They're getting angry that you...
So maybe he's just going to stay behind here. We'll wait and see. So that means it's going to be a very difficult task for Team Spiegel to get past the 2-lap cars here. So Team Little Bear right on the rear bumper of Pepe now. Those two guys are on the same lap.
Where are we dropping to that?
So Team Little Bear is going to have to give position back to Pepe there.
Bailey, are you dropping? Don't know.
So I got that message in the group chat. Hopefully someone sees it, so we can get that all sorted. So someone awesome can only go as slow as he can here at 60 kilometers an hour. So he's going to let the rest of the guys catch up to the back of the pack here at Road America. This is round 4 of the Xfinity Sunday Series. And someone awesome who leads after the first half of this race here. Closely followed by Exit. And we got Rojo. He's in the mix for a race win here now. We've got Davo in P4, Aussie in P5. They're all weaving here to keep the optimal tyre temps up. We've got Psycho in P6. He pitted before the competition caution. I think that caught him out a little bit with the guys behind. And that's why we see him all the way back in P6 now. Team Spiegel in P7. Now, Pepe's been given that position back. It's good to see. So, Team Little Bear, I reckon he's just sort of instructing Pepe to go through there. And it's probably what happened there. So everyone's trying to get the revs up as well. So the two guys in 8th and 9th, they're still in the first sector. So they're about half a lap down here at Road America already. And we got the leaders coming on to the last couple of corners now. They can only go as slow as what they're going now at 60 kilometers an hour with Someone Awesome. So I don't think Pepe and Team Little Bear are going to be able to get that ground back in that amount of time. Unless they accelerate past the control line. That will be the only way they might have a chance in making it to the rear end of the lead pack from the 1st to 7th there.
Hurt me. No! No!
So apologise for that friggin' 2-year-old in the background there. So Someone Awesome, he's sped up to speed now, getting to his top end speed before the end of turn 1. So we're going green here on lap 7 at Road America for round 4 of the Xfinity Sunday Series. So heading into turn 1, it's going to be Someone Awesome with a comfortable lead over Exo, who's 9/10 of a second down from the lead of Someone Awesome. Then you got Rojo in the background there, trying to hold off Psycho and P4. We got Davo putting himself into the mix here as well. We got Aussie, then we got Team Spiegel, and then it'll be Pepe and Team Little Bear battling it out for position 8 there. And those two guys, Team Little Bear, he's just got to get a good result here. Whether or not 9th position is enough to cement his spot into the playoffs, we'll wait and see. But as for Pepe, his hopes of making the playoffs are pretty much done and dusted here, but he's still in championship contention for the NASCAR Sunday Series. He currently sees himself in the playoff scenario at this stage. So he's got another chance to get redemption here in the Sunday Series. In the NASCAR Sunday Series, that is. So currently, Someone Awesome extending that lead out to 1.2 seconds over Exo. So Exo just trying to stay in P2 here. He's got a decent margin over Psycho on P3. So he's moved from position 6 to P3 on this opening lap here on lap 7 after the competition caution. And he's looking to make inroads on Exo on P2. So is this the good result that he needs to be able to get into the playoffs? We'll wait and see how everything unfolds after the rest of this one. But the results will be unofficial until Thursday night. But I will get the standings and all that stuff done before the Thursday night. If there's anything to be looked at, then we'll change the leaderboards accordingly. So here we go. Psycho has made a lot of inroad on this half a lap here on lap 7 on board with Exo here. So Exo, championship leader, looking to hold on to P2, got the lights on, but you got Someone Awesome blazing away ahead of him in P1. The sister car that he's driving there. So Psycho looking to get a very good result here. Rojo in the background, the lights on, but he's got pressure from Davo behind. Davo currently sitting P3 in the Xfinity Sunday Series. He's cemented his spot into the playoffs with a race win in round 1. So he doesn't need to do too much more than what's required now. So as for Aussie Chopper, he's in the mix for the playoffs. And it looks like a top 6 position here will get him there. We got Team Spiegel and P7. That should be enough for him to get into the playoffs. But for Pepe, it's a very disastrous scene here for him. He's put a lot of commitment into this series. And for him to come out at least 9th in the standings, heading into the playoffs, he'd be very devastated. But he's still got redemption coming in the NASCAR Sunday Series. That's the main series we got on the Sunday night. It's a lot more to play for in that series Currently on board with the race leader, Someone Awesome. That lead is 1.5 seconds in favour over Exo in P2. But Exo's got a lot of pressure being applied from Psycho in P3. So this is going to be the battle to watch in the closing 5 laps here at Road America for round 4 of the Xfinity Sunday Series. A lot of ground made under brakes from Psycho as he tries to get an overlap around the carousel here at Road America. He's just going to have to hold station throughout the entirety of this corner. But he's going to stay where he needs to be able to make a move in the next few corners or so, because he's really pressuring the rear end of Exo, the championship leader. These guys got to play it safe here. That's for Psycho. He's got everything to play for, so there's going to be a lot of desperation coming from him. We got cars off in the background. That's Rojo and Davo having a little bit of contact on exit of the carousel. So Exo going a little bit defensive throughout this corner, but that's going to be Psycho out of nowhere, moving up in the P2. Very good move from Psycho to keep his playoff hopes alive here at Road America. Now he's got Someone Awesome in his sights here for the remainder of this one. We're going to have 4 laps to go, and it's going to be a shootout to the end between these 3 top guys here. It's going to be Psycho with a slight advantage over Exo, but Exo's got an overlap down the main straight here. He might be able to make the move heading into turn 1. The longer these two fight for, the less likely it is for Someone Awesome to lose out on the race win here. So Psycho's just going to have to hold off Exo. Exo's backed out of it at turn 1. Probably a very wise move there from him. As for Psycho, he's got everything to play for. The pressure is all set on his shoulders here. His fate is in his own hands. Can he gain the ground that's required on Someone Awesome to be able to win this one and cement his ticket into the playoffs, the round of 8? But he's currently 1.9 seconds off the lead of Someone Awesome. We've got 3.5 laps to go as Exo tries to make a move down the inside of the downhill braking zone on exit of Sector 1. And that's Psycho going out wide. Is Exo going to get the better of him here? He's going to try to send it down the inside with the overlap. They go side by side, but Exo not able to make the move there either. So Psycho holding on to dear life here. He goes out wide once again. That's really going to invite Exo for another attack on the rear end of Psycho. He's under extreme amount of pressure in the closing stage of this one. We've got Rojo with slight advantage over Davo. Those guys battling it out for P4. But that gap between those two is around 3 seconds. But as for Psycho, he's got a lot of ground to make in the next 3 and a bit laps now. It's looking very unlikely for him to come out the race win. But is second spot going to be enough to at least make the playoffs based on the current finishing positions? We'll wait and see in a few hours' time. But if Someone Awesome is to make a mistake, then Psycho is there to take the opportunity. That's the only scenario that we've got pretty much open for Psycho here. He can still gain that 2.5 seconds in the next 3 laps. He's got to at least be 7/10 of a lap quicker than Someone Awesome in the lead. Coming out the last corner now. So we're going to get to our top end speed here. It's going to be Exo in the slipstream of Psycho and P2. So we enter lap 10 of lap 12 here at Road America for round 4 of the Xfinity Sunday Series here. And next up, we got the NASCAR Sunday Series. And a lot of these guys in this series here will find their way to the NASCAR Series as well, based on availability of spots. We've got our full-time drivers in the NASCAR Series coming in the next few moments or so. But as for the battle for the Xfinity Series, it's Psycho looking to make an all-out attack for the top spot of the podium here. We'll go on board this time around to see where he's slow and where he's quick. You can see Someone Awesome, a little dot further forward there. Now we go to the downhill braking zone. This is where Psycho went wide. Last lap around, he's locked the rear brakes. He's held on to it, but Exo's going to get past him here. Exo's going to get past him here. So Psycho, he's binned it for himself. Is that going to be the decider of making the playoffs here? He's gained a lot of ground through the mid-corner there on Exo. He's going to try send it down the inside, but there's no space there. We go into another downhill braking zone. I don't think Psycho's up far enough to be able to consider a move here. That's Exo going out wide, so there might be an overlap as we go through the carousel here. Psycho with the better exit through the mid-corner. He's got to transition that into mid-corner speed through the carousel as well. Using it as a double apex corner is the best way to go, but he goes out wide there onto the grass. He's lost a whole bunch of time there as you see Exo blaze away ahead of him in P2. There's a few more opportunities for Psycho to be able to make this move. He's got to be right at the rear bumper here. It's not going to be here. Turn 1 is the prime opportunity, but Psycho is well and truly within attacking distance here on board with Exo ahead of him. He's really applying the pressure now. He really wants to finish in second here. Race win well and truly out of his hands now. Psycho and Exo. And Psycho goes down the inside as Exo goes out wide out the last corner. So that's a bit of a return of a favour there. So Rojo moves himself up in the P3 as well. So Rojo also one of these guys that need to win the race tonight, but not looking likely. But he's in a good spot to finish his normal season here with quite a comfortable bunch of points here. He's going to be applying the pressure to the rear bumper of Psycho in a few moments time as we enter the penultimate lap here at Road America. It's someone awesome with quite a commanding lead at the top. 4.8 seconds and extending there to 5 seconds out of the second corner here. So we've got a 3-car battle for P2 here. You can see Davo lurking in the background there. So he might be someone to be able to move up in the P2 if anything's to go wrong with the 3 guys ahead. We've got Aussie in P6. He's looking to cement his spot into the playoffs, as well as Team Spiegel there. He's sitting P7. We've got Peppy in P8 with a lot of damage on the front end. And then Team Little Bear in P9. So we go back to the battle for P2, where Psycho is currently holding off Rojo and Exo. And they're right behind him, lurking in the background with their lights on. So it's all out business here for these 3 guys. We've got a bollard off there to the left-hand side, just making its way onto the track there. But that does not make any damage whatsoever if you're to run over that. Fortunately enough, it's not one of those bollards at Le Mans. So the drivers can be feeling safe that they will not sustain any damage if they were to run that bollard over. So as for Psycho, he's just got to be able to keep a clean lap here around Road America for one more time around. He's got a decent gap in hand over Rojo, who's currently sitting P3. That gap is 1 second and extending just a little bit through the mid-corners here. Got Exo drifting further back. And he's going to be under pressure from Davo in P5 there relatively soon. But as for Exo, he should be able to come home with the normal season championship victory here. And that means he gets 15 bonus points for that accolade. And that will be very useful when it comes to the playoffs. So championship leader, he's still got a chance to move up in the P3, maybe P2, depending on what happens on this closing lap here at Road America. This is round 4 of the Xfinity Sunday Series. We've still got the NASCAR Sunday Series to come right up in a few moments' time. That will be coming up in 15 minutes' time to be more precise here. So Exo trying to make a diving move at turn 2 on Rojo. He's not able to get the mid-corner speed there, nor the traction on exit to be able to put himself into an attacking position here, heading into the downhill braking zone of exit of Sector 1. So we might see a late race move here made by Exo, more than likely in the last sector. Very deep on the brakes in this downhill section. We saw Psycho lock up the rear brakes on the last lap. He's got through there relatively unscathed this time. And Rojo really under pressure from the championship leader, Exo behind. Exo is trying to do all he can to be able to get past Rojo to move on to the final step of the podium. The more this plays out, the quicker Davo can catch up to the rear end and make a diving move on the Exo. So Exo's going to be able to get past Rojo in the next few corners or so. Otherwise, he's going to be feeling the pressure from his championship competitor in Davo behind. Those two are both in the playoffs here, as well as someone awesome who's got a very commanding lead at the top, 6.2 seconds. We've got Rojo and P3. So Exo, he's lost out just a little bit. So now Psycho is going to be under pressure from Rojo in the last sector here at Road America. But he should have enough of a gap to be able to hold on. He's also got track position over Rojo. That's going to be playing a key role in determining their finishing positions here. We'll quickly have a look at who's got the fastest lap. Fastest lap to Psycho in P2 there. So if he's to make the playoffs, he will have a bonus point in the playoffs. So we'll wait and see how it all unfolds after the series tonight and after the NASCAR Sunday series as well. So I'll be getting a quick turnaround with those standings. So out of the last corner now, it's going to be a comfortable victory in favour of someone awesome at the front of the pack. But they go side by side down the main straight now. And Psycho tries to covers. He drifts over just a little bit, and that's the closest finish we've seen so far. Rojo getting the better of Psycho. So Rojo's moved up in the P2 out of nowhere. That could have been playoff determining stuff right there. Exo comes home in P4, Davo in P5. Aussie comes home in P6, Team Spiegel in P7. Now Pepe should come home in P8. He's got a comfortable margin over Team Little Bear in P9. But that's the closest finish we've seen on the podium here. Rojo, out of nowhere. Well, what's the timing there? We'll actually see at the end of this one. I want to get a screenshot of that. Across the line, I thought Psycho had the better of Rojo on the outside, but obviously not. So we got Pepe coming across the line a few moments ago. And last across the line will be Team Little Bear. But it should be enough for him to make the playoffs here. So there you go. There are unofficial results for round 4 of the Xfinity Sunday Series. The fastest lap did go to Psycho. But whether or not that bonus point is going to come into his hands, we'll soon wait and see if he's made the playoffs. But that has been round 4 of the Xfinity Sunday Series here. Don't go anywhere because in less than 10 minutes' time, we've got the NASCAR Sunday Series coming up right up after this. So I'll send you guys lurking in the background here. So I'll just mute myself while I get the next lobby set up for the NASCAR guys. be ready to go in 9 minutes' time. If the guys opt to do a little practice session, we'll wait and see what happens. But we'll quickly go through a run through of the current standings for the NASCAR Sunday Series.
Are you on a know something?
Rojo or Rojo? I'm not sure. I haven't asked him. Yeah, we'll wait and see what happens there. I'll have to ask him about that. Just get things set up here. So we get the standings for the NASCAR Sunday Series here. We have to go through the slides here once again, bypass the Xfinity Series, because this is what's coming up. The NASCAR Sunday Series Round 4, also at Road America. And it's EXO with a slight championship lead over Blue XR8. Those two separated by 3 points at the top of the standings there. We've got Aussie Chopper in P3 of 101 points. And Davo in P4 and 100. Go further down, we've got Someone Awesome, Peppy, Brennicles, and Lord Angel Wolf rounding out the top 8 there. Then we have Titan, Racer 24, Morningstar Mike, Rapworks Austral, Egwind, Ty Morgo, Psycho, Rooney, Black Wildcats, Rojo, or Rojo, and Nachos. So quickly have a buzz of what the playoff scenario currently looks like after 3 rounds here for the NASCAR Sunday Series. So Blue XR8 with a slight advantage at the top. Now the drivers highlighted in red, if you didn't join us earlier, those guys have clinched their spots into the playoffs based on race win. So Aussie Chopper, Eagle Wind, Blue XR8, they all got into the playoffs with a race win. And the guys that are not highlighted red, those guys can still miss out on the playoffs based on poor performances tonight. But with EXO being in P2, well, currently in the lead of the championship, it's looking very unlikely for him to miss out, as well as Davo, Someone Awesome, and Peppy. The real Rory is here for the reigning champ, Brennicles. He must get a good result if he's to maintain his playoff spot there. So it's all to play for the guys behind him. If we quickly go back and have a look what's going on. So you got guys like Lord Angel Wolf. He won't be here tonight, unfortunately. So Psycho is one of those guys in a must-win scenario. He will come in to fill in for one of the main game drivers. So there will be a couple of the guys looking to get a race win here and cement their spot. So I'm just quickly going to get a few more invites out.
On for this one.
Just set a few more of these invites out, see if we can get a couple more guys in. What else we got?
Yeah, he's so low.
Started in 5 minutes, so I'll just get us back to the waiting screen. back to live scenes here. We're about to enter the 10-minute qualifying session for round 4 of the NASCAR Sunday Series. Host to that, Road America. This is the final normal season round before we enter the playoffs, heading into round 5 at Daytona for the second time this season. So everything to play for a lot of these drivers in terms of getting as much bonus points as possible, and a couple of the drivers requiring a race win to be able to make the playoffs here. We've got a very depleted grid tonight of 8 drivers. So we're just getting into business here. So Rojo coming out on track here. And we got Aussie still in pit lane. Psycho also, Davo, Exo. Pepe's coming out in the 45 Ford Fusion here. Brandon Kiilstofte, reigning champ, season 3 champion, the V8 Supercars Sunday Series. He's one of those drivers that need to get a good result tonight to cement his spot into the playoffs. Someone awesome. Also one of those guys. He's currently sitting 5th in the scenario. We've got Blue XR8 joining us as well. So he's out to accumulate as much bonus points as he possibly can in this final normal season, Blue XR8. So we'll quickly hop on board with Exo, who's your current championship leader in the series so far. He's got a 3-second point point advantage over Blue XR8, who currently just joined us a few moments ago. And Exo's got the reigning champ Brennicles right on the rear bumper there. But these guys are only on the out laps here. So we go on board with Rojo here. Titan also joining us. Very good to see. Titan is one of those guys that will have to win tonight if he's to make the playoffs. But he's very quick, so don't discount him from that scenario, because he'll be looking to spoil the party here. So currently you must make the cut from 7th position, which is currently being occupied by Brennicles. So we've got a few cars out on track. Pepe's out on track. He's struggling a little bit on this out lap, out in the mid-sector there. Go on board with Brennicles here, the reigning champion. He's really in the wars to maintain that title. He's still got a chance to keep that title heading into Season 5 of the Sunday Series, which will be announced. The series will be announced in a week or so, as we get the votes in for what series we're going to actually have. And we're going to try and gather as much interest as possible to see whether or not we're going to maintain the 2 championship series scenario, or if we go back to one lobby here. So I'm just going to go get a quick drink here. Just bear with me while I go grab that. Back and running here. So you're currently spectating Davo, who's one of our playoff contenders at this stage. So we're going to be going low fuel loads here. So you can see the varying loads of fuel among these guys. You can see, I think it was Pepe. No. Go further through the list here. Psycho with a reasonably high fuel load here, so he's looking to have his car planted to the track a lot more with that extra weight in the rear end, as well as Aussie. Rojo currently sitting P3 here. We haven't had a driver come across the control line yet as Titan comes out for his out lap. currently ticking almost under 5 minutes 30 here at Road America for round 4 of the NASCAR Sunday Series here. So if you were watching earlier, you would have known that Someone Awesome came out with the victory in round 4 of the Xfinity Series here at Road America. So they're looking to do the double here for round 4 of both of the series. So currently Blue XR8 is also on that outlap. So someone is actually on a hot lap here. Just trying to find who it is. And that's currently Davo. So he's on his hot lap now. His lap time was invalidated for track limits. So we're going to have to go on board with Psycho. He had a very good result in the Xfinity Sunday Series just a few moments ago. He's able to back up that performance in this qualifying session here. He goes out wide just a little bit at turn 1. But that might be the normal racing line for a fair few of these guys. If we've got a car off in the background there, I'm not sure who that is. That's the car of Aussie, so he's parked it back up. But we'll go back on board with Psycho here. Correction. We'll go on board cockpit view. We're not going to be able to get a time indication out of the first sector. We're just going to have to judge based on how fast the lap looks like. So down in the downhill braking zone now. He's went way too deep on the brakes, and that's lap binned for Psycho. He's just going to have to get back into that groove to be able to set a hot lap here. So Brennicles goes provisional pole for 2:21.6. Then you got Rojo or Rojo, whoever you want me to call it. Or whoever you want me to call him, rather. 2:25.4. And we got Pepe in P3 with a 2:27.9. Exo, championship leader in P4. 120, the 2:29.3 there, so not 1:29, 2:29. Got to keep in mind that it's actually a reasonably long circuit here, just under 7 kilometres. Sorry about that, just had to get the dog out of the room. So currently Psycho out of nowhere with provisional pole, 2:21.5. So he's well and truly backed up that podium performance in the Xfinity Series in this qualifying session so far. Brennicles goes across the line, gone 3.5 seconds faster than Psycho in P2 with a 2:18 flat. That's blistering pace in the closing stages of this one. Has anyone got anything in response to that? Wait and see if our key contenders, Exo, the likes of Someone Awesome, Titan and Blue XR8, what have they got in response to that time? Blue XR8 is about to cross control line now. We're about to get the indication of what this time is going to be for him. It's only going to be good enough for 5th spot. A 2:23.5 is his quickest. 5.5 seconds down from the pole position time set by Brennicle so far. So Brennicle starts off this round with an awesome accolade to his name with provisional pole at this stage, and he's going even faster this time around. 1.1 seconds up on his quickest lap, so we might see him in the 2:16s here at Road America. So we'll go on board cockpit view. Someone Awesome going up in the P2 with a 2:20.8, but that's still 2.8 seconds behind Brennicles at the top of the leaderboards here. So Brennicles just in a league of his own here, the reigning champion in the V8 Supercars Sunday Series last season. He's got everything to play for tonight. He's trying to hold on to his playoff spot. He's currently sitting just above the cut line here, heading into the final normal season round here of round 4. Next round will be the first of the playoff rounds. So we'll have 8 drivers contending the playoffs, but we'll still have a following 8 to contend the round as well, to determine positions 9th to however many we have in the standings, which is 19 at this stage. So a little bit taily in the rear end for Brennicles out the last sector here. He wouldn't have lost too much time there. These cars are very hard to control around road circuits, but he's really thrown the car around here, Brennicles, and that deserves to go faster here by the looks of it. He's going to set the new fastest lap to a 2:17 flat. So that's blitzing pace from our reigning champ, Brennicles. Someone awesome's parked up. Psycho coming through the first sector now. Davo through the mid sector as well. Blue XR8 coming out the last corner. This is his last opportunity to move up in the standings here. What's this going to be for him as he crosses the control line in about 7 seconds time here at Road America? It's a long main straight here. That's going to be good enough for P2. So Blue XR8, P2, out of nowhere in the closing stages. 2:19.5 is his quickest, but still 2.5 seconds off the pole position time set by Brennicles. He's got basically 100 metres up on the field here. Maybe even a bit more. We've still got Aussie out on track, but he's struggling there and he's parked up. So we'll go on board with Psycho. He's coming in the mid-sector now. We'll actually go further forward on board with Davo, who's in the mid-sector. So he'll be the next driver to cross the control line. We'll see if he can go faster. Currently 4.7 seconds off pole position here. So he's currently sitting P5. His closest competitor, Psycho, in P4 is still out on track as well. So it's all to play for between these two. About the cross control line for Davo. What's this going to be for him? It's going to go up in the P2. So he's another driver to get into the 2:17s here at Road America. So he's 7/10 off pole position here. It's a very good performance in the dying stages of qualifying from him. Psycho coming out the last corner now. So we're about to get the indication of whether or not he's going to improve on the standings. So coming across the control line in a few moments' time. What's this going to be for Psycho? I don't think it improved, but it could be quite different here. So Psycho gets pole position out of nowhere. 2:16 flat. He's got 1 second over the rest of the field. So reigning champ would be devastated after watching that performance there from Psycho. Out of nowhere for Psycho. He's one of the drivers looking to cement his spot into the playoffs with a race win here. And he's looking to be in the prime spot to do so here. So here we go. We'll go for a run through here and an awesome qualifying performance from Psycho, backing up his Xfinity race performance, finishing P3 in that race as well. Then we got reigning champ Brennicles starting alongside him in P2. He'll be very disappointed to not hold on to pole position. Then we got Davo, one of our playoff contenders in P3 here. Alongside him, another playoff contender in Blue XR8. He's won a race in the first 3 rounds. He'll be looking to do so once again in round 4 for the NASCAR Sunday Series. And we've got someone awesome, another contender in P5. He's going to be looking to hold on to his playoff spot. Rojo is one of the guys looking to be able to cement his spot into the playoffs with a race win here. We've got Exo, the championship leader, all the way down in 7th spot. So he's got a lot of work to do from the 4th row of the grid. Alongside him is Pepe. He's also in the playoff scenario here for the NASCAR Sunday Series. But he's got to be able to get a good result tonight to be able to hold on to that. And as for row 5, we've got Titan. He's very fast, but not fast enough in qualifying because he sees himself start on the 5th row here alongside Aussie in P10. So that's your 10-car field here for the NASCAR Sunday Series. This is round 4 of the NASCAR Sunday Series, hosted at Road America. It's the last normal season round here. So it is crunch time in terms of numbers to make the playoffs here in this last round. So we're going into the rolling start now. It's going to be Psycho who leads the pack heading into turn 1, but he's on the outside lane. He might be able to get pipped from Brennicles. if he doesn't get the start required. So here we go. We're about to go green here. We'll go green for round 4 of the NASCAR Sunday Series. A massive launch from Psycho on the outside line. He's on the cleaner side of the track, and he should be able to lead this one heading into turn 1. We're about to go 3 wide heading into turn 1. Blue XR8 on the inside of Davo on P4. He's made that move up in the P3 now. So awesome move before the first corner there. We've got a few cars off in the background. I don't think there was contact made. Davo on P4. Peppy in P5. We've got Exo on P6. He's up a position here. He's right on the rear bumper of Peppy here. I'm just going to have to close my thing up because it keeps cutting out here. So you'll still see that on your screen. Just trying to get my input right here because it keeps flickering. So just bear with me here as I try to get the view of what's going on. So currently on board with EXO in P7. I've got no audio coming through my headset now because I closed that app on my PC. So current race leader is Psycho on P1. He's made a little bit of a mistake through the mid-sector. Now Brennicles is going to be looking to make him pay for that. On the outside he goes, but he's not able to make the move because Blue XR8 gets the better of him up in the P2 now. So wrong place at the wrong time for reigning champ Brennicles. Had a error pop up here. There we go. Alright, we're back to the live scenes on my end. So hopefully it stays that way. Now I've got a white screen. That's not what I want to see. Just got to quickly get this sorted on my end. Not sure what's going on. There we go. It should be all fixed now. So we're currently on board with Blue XR8. He's currently 0.8 of a second behind the race leader of Psycho, who's put up quite a tremendous performance so far. We've got Davo on P3. Brennicles has been relegated back to P4, so the reigning champ losing out a lot of positions on the opening 2 laps here. We've got Exo, the championship leader in P5 now from P7. Aussie in P6 from P10. We've got Titan in P7 from P9 on the grid. Then we got Rojo in P8. We've got someone awesome in P9. He started on the 3rd row. He's lost a lot of positions. And Peppy struggling in P10 there. So his bad fortunes from the Xfinity series are following him to the NASCAR Sunday series as well, unfortunately for him. I'm just going to try and get that off my screen. There we go. That should be even better. No. There we go. That's better. Alright, so Blue XR8 is catching up right to the rear bumper of Psycho on P1. So it's going to be a 2-car battle for the lead of this race here at Road America. This is round 4 of the NASCAR Sunday Series. The final normal season round. As you see Blue XR8 go out the slightest bit wide through the mid-sector there. We're about to enter the carousel section of Road America. Very technical part of the track, this part is. And that's Psycho blazing away in the background after Blue XR8 made that mistake through the mid-sector. He'll really be kicking himself after that. You've got Davo up in the P3. He's tracking well to get a good result tonight. We've got Brennicles, the reigning champ. Been caught up in a little bit of, wouldn't say carnage, but he's been in the wrong place at the wrong time. Because he was forced onto the outside lane with Blue XR8 coming out of nowhere to make a move on him. Because Blue XR8, Brennicles tried to make a move on Psycho. So there's been a lead change. Blue XR8 moving up into the lead of this one. Psycho, by the looks of it, is making mistakes galore here as he's got Davo for pressure behind him. That's the battle for P2 now. So 2 seconds is the lead in favour of Blue XR8 over Psycho on P2. And he's rotated it out the last corner. He's got caught up into the grassed area on the outside lane there. And he's completely binned it. He had pole position. It's not going to be a scene for him to watch here as he's currently getting the pressure applied from the reigning champ. Brennicles behind in P4. Exo, the championship leader, is in P5 and he's looking to be on the attack as well. So we're currently on lap 3 of 19. The competition caution will be called at the start of lap 9 here at Road America. That's Titan coming across the line on entry to lap 3 in P6. You've got Aussie in P7 there. By the looks of it, he's coming in the pit lane. No, that's Southern Awesome. So Aussie remains to be on track here. So Southern Awesome opting the pit early here. We've got Peppy in pit lane as well, but he's a lap down. By the looks of it, he's sustained a lot of damage. So he's just going to have to rotate this car around to get as much points as possible because he's currently in the playoff scenario. So basically a finish here in 10th position will get him that spot. But it's whether or not if any of the guys outside of the bottom 7 win, then, because that's who he's battling it out to make the playoffs with. And he's currently sitting P4, so Brennicles got past him a few moments ago. And they've got about a 6-second gap between those two now. We've got Davo in P2. He's 1.6 seconds off the lead of Blue XR8. You can see him just slightly ahead of him there as we go down the King Straight here at Road America. And Davo, he's on a very quick lap here on lap 3 of lap 19. He's catching right up to the rear end of Blue XR8 in first position. That gap is 1.5 seconds now. So he's chipped in 0.2 of a second. Great. So we're going to go on board cockpit view. I'm going to shut up this time around because Davo is going to take you on board for a lap around Road America in the modern stock car of the Ford Fusion. And he's going to try to track down Blue XR8 in the process as well. So enjoy. So I hope you enjoyed that onboard view with Davo on lap 4 of 19. He hasn't made much inroad in comparison to Blue XR8 ahead. So that lead in favour of Blue XR8 is just stagnated to that 1 second mark there. So I saw Davo get bogged down just a little bit through the mid-sector. He had to catch an oversteering slide out of the uphill section under the bridge. He's looking to catch up throughout this first sector here. He's chipped in 1/10 of a second throughout the first 2 corners. So we've got Brennicles a further 10 seconds down on Davo. So really it's a 2-car race in the early stages here. So Blue XR8, you'd be really wanting to get another race win to the addition of his stats here. It'll grant him another 5 bonus points entering the playoffs as well. He's one of the drivers that are just trying to accumulate as much of those bonus points as possible, because that will really put him in with a good chance to be able to come out with championship glory here for the NASCAR Sunday Series round 2 at Watkins Glen, and hopefully maybe come out with the championship lead, and that will also grant him an extra 3 bonus points as well, because currently he's got 12 bonus points based on finishing second in the championship. But if he wants to go that one step up, he's still got another 3 bonus points up for grabs in that part of the bonus point information there. And currently, with Exo in 6th position here, he's going to be able to do so, because Exo seems to be struggling with the rear stability of his Ford Fusion at Road America. It's a very difficult circuit, no doubt. It's all about car setup in times like these, because the NASCAR, the modern stock car, isn't really built for these road circuits that we are racing on. Even though they do in real life, the Xfinity guys race at Road America in real life, but the national NASCAR series, the main series in America, actually don't. So I only put this track in here because the Xfinity guys actually race here. So Blue XR8 still holding off Davo and P2. That lead is extended out now. Out of the first corner there, 1.2 seconds is that lead. We see the reigning champ coming to the pit lane now. We've got Aussie also following, but he's a lap down by the looks of it now. And he's really struggling. You can see the rear end bangled up. I would say that's a write-off in real life. The roll cage looks to be damaged. And he's just going to have to limp that car home. So Blue XR8 is on a flyer this time around. We're about to get his sector split out of Sector 1. I reckon he's on a very fast lap here. He's only 4/10 off his quickest lap time, which is currently a 2:19 flat. So his current fastest lap is going to Davo and P2 with a 2:18 flat. So those guys are setting very fast times in the front 2 positions here. So it's all of a matter of just keeping the car on track here for Blue XR8, because his pace is matching the pace of Davo and P2. You see little mistakes here and there, but Davo is also following in synchronization as well by the looks of it throughout the mid-sector. We've got Psycho in P3 now after Brennicles came in the pit lane for his mandatory pit stop. We've got Titan in P4. That means Brennicles has been relegated back to P5 on track. We've got Exo in P6, the championship leader coming in. He's going to lose the advantage at the top of the standings at this stage based on where they'll finish now. He'll come home at least second in the championship, in the normal championship that is, before heading into the playoffs where those top 8 guys are contending for a championship. Pepe is still on the half seconds. When you punch out fastest lap after fastest lap, those tyres are no doubt dying at this stage. They're dying for mercy throughout this mid-stage here, and Davo has really killed his tyres earlier on by the looks of it. He's still holding on to fastest lap here. Where he's finishing now, he's going to have that spot cemented at this stage as he almost loses the rear end once again at the same spot on the track under the bridge. We've got Aussie just struggling in P10, but he has cemented his spot into the playoffs. So all he has to do is get a decent haul of points here, and he should be able to come out with a decent margin of bonus points. Now I thought my stream went off there. Let's all go here on my end. So we'll go on board with Blue XR8. He should be in the pit lane this time around. We've got a retirement from Rojo by the looks of it. We saw him struggling a few moments ago out on the grass. So it's probably for the best for him. He wouldn't have been able to get that back to pit lane without making the damage even worse, because he looked to have been struggling with the stability of that car. And we've got Blue XR8, as predicted, coming into pit lane. And this will be competition caution conditions. You got Psycho lurking in the background out of the last corner now. So he will also follow Blue XR8 in the pit lane. We got Titan in P3. He's still a sector down on the leaders. So currently the leaders are on lap 9 of 19. It's an uneven number of laps based on the distance. That's what the lap number's based on. So we're doing slightly over 100 kilometers, I think it was. But it was only like 200 meters more. Otherwise, we would have had to make it 18 laps, and it would have been like 800 meters short of 100 kilometers. So we got Titan in pit lane as well. And now the last corner now comes the reigning champ. He's not going to be able to get past Blue XR8 in P1, but he's going to be in the mix for a race win in the closing stages of this one. As he gets past both Titan and Psycho there. I think Psycho's just exiting pit lane. He's still stuck up in his pit box there. About to exit now. Titan's still in his pit box as well. We've got EXO coming in the pit lane, the championship leader heading into this round. But he should have a good opportunity to make up a lot of positions once the competition caution has ended. So we'll see if he takes a new set of tyres here, because it might be a very gutsy strategy to do so. He's got a lot of time for it, as Blue XR8 is stuck at 100 kilometres here. And slowing down for the competition caution conditions. We got Brennicles catching up to the rear end of... I'm not sure what's happened to him. Brennicles disconnected. Not sure what happened there. So these guys, Davo and Psycho, just trying to catch up to the rear end of Blue XR8. Those guys are up to speed now, but they're going to have to slow down quite a lot in a few corners' time. They've got lap traffic up ahead, I think. No, it's a lead lap car. Davo just drifting around that section of the track. Not sure if he's on a new set of tyres or not. We've still got EXO parked up in pit lane. He's about to exit now. So he may have opted to get a new set of tyres as well. I should have stayed on board with him for the entirety of that pit stop. Those guys can get their laps back. But as for Pepe, he'll be the one most likely to get back onto the lead lap, because Aussie was a couple laps down before the competition caution here at Road America. We'll currently see how the fastest laps are tracking here. So Blue XR8 is only 3 tenths slower than Davo, but it's Psycho with the fastest lap of the race, a 2:16.7. And he's currently sitting P3 on track. So if he can maintain that pace at the top, he might... He missed out on the playoffs in the Xfinity series. Let's go further down the list. There's no other times comparable to that. So Pepe's caught up to the rear end, and he will be able to unlap himself here. I'll just quickly give the message. So we've still got Aussie catching up in the background. So we've got the guys weaving to maintain their optimal tyre temps here at Road America. It's very crucial being a road circuit. It shouldn't be too much of an issue considering the conditions are clear and in springtime. So there should still be quite a substantial sun over the track to be able to keep the track warm. So this is your current scenario here. Blue XR8 will take the lead on X of the competition caution on entry to lap 10. There'll be Davo following alongside him in P2, Psycho on P3, Titan in P4, Someone Awesome in P5, Exo in P6, Peppy will start this one in P7, and then we got Aussie in P8 here. So that is the 8-car field that we've got remaining here. It's going to be Blue XR8 accelerating to top end speed now as we go down the main straight of Road America for lap 10 of 19. So we just ticked over the halfway point of this race here for round 4 of the NASCAR Sunday Series. It's going to be Blue XR8 with quite a comfortable lead heading into turn 1. Davo is going to be under pressure from Psycho behind. Bumper to bumper those two guys are. Davo going a little bit defensive on entry to turn 2. Psycho's trying to get the better of him, but he's not going to be able to get the gap required to make that move. He's just going to follow him like a bad habit here. So here we go. Davo in the downhill braking zone. Is he able to hold off a surging Psycho? Psycho goes up onto the exit curb there, and that's going to force him out wide. And as they go side by side, out of the first sector now. And Psycho seemed to have got bogged down out of the mid-sector, so didn't get the traction required to be able to maintain that momentum. And still Davo in P2, and he's under extremes amount of pressure from Psycho on P3. It's all to play for between these two. Davo currently looking to cement his spot in the playoffs with a decent result tonight. But it's going to be Psycho looking for a race win to be able to get into the playoffs here at Road America. Oh, I think Davo, he's rotated it. That means Psycho's going to try go on the outside of the carousel. But he had to make evasive action there just to avoid the contact. And it still set him back in P3. You can see Someone Awesome in the background lurking. As Davo goes out wide once again, and that's going to invite Psycho up in the P2. So now he's going to be on the attack of Blue XR8 in the few laps or so. Because currently Psycho is the quickest car on track. He just needed the track position, a bit of clean air to be able to punch out quick laps required to get into the lead of this one. So we'll watch this with a close eye now. He'll take you on board. We'll take you on board with Psycho for a lap around Road America. We'll commentate this time around as we see if he can make inroads on Blue XR8 for the lead of this one. He's currently 2.1 seconds behind Blue XR8 in the lead. So he's made 9/10 of a second in the last sector alone. So I have to give Brennicle second for points there because he was in the prime spot to be able to challenge for the race win. And it was very unfortunate that we saw that disconnection there. And it would have been internet connection issues. So the reality of online racing, that's the sort of stuff that kicks us in the arse sometimes. As Davo gets past Psycho as he went out wide, so it's probably worth going to trackside view as Davo is going to try hold off Psycho once again. These two were going battle one lap ago at this section of the track. We're currently on lap 11 of 19. And it's Davo with a slight advantage over Psycho. It's the battle for P2. We've got a car off in the background. That's playoff contender Someone Awesome. Rotated and into the inside wall there. He's got a lot of damage on the front end. He's just going to have to limp that car home as we've got side-by-side contact between the two guys battling it out for P2. There's a lot of shoving here. There's a lot of not taking it. And that's what we want to see in racing. We want to see rubbing is racing type stuff. And what you just witnessed then was rubbing. So we're about to enter lap 12 of 19. So we've got just under 8 laps to go now at Road America for round 4 of the NASCAR Sunday Series. This is the final normal season round as we enter the playoffs next week at Daytona International Speedway. For the second time this season, as Psycho tries to get an overlap down the inside, out of turn 1. He's going to get it in the downhill braking zone, is he? He's going to do it. So Psycho is able to put his head down to be able to make that ground up on Blue X8, but he goes out wide, so he went way too deep at turn 2. I'm trying to speak too fast. So Davo, once again, favoured by the mistake made by Psycho. He's locked up the rear brakes a little bit in the downhill braking zone on exit of Sector 1 there. So it's not really been a braking zone too favourable for Psycho there. He got a good result in the Xfinity series. He's looking to back it up. He got pole position for this race. But he's all the way back in P3 throughout the later stages now. But someone awesome in P4. Just trying to survive here. We've got Exo in P5 holding off Titan in P6. Those guys are basically bumper to bumper. We'll stay on board as we got contact between the two. Exo slowed up through the mid corner there. And that forced a contact between himself and Titan. So very lucky not to come out with a disastrous accident there. As Pepe remains to be a lap down on the leaders as well as Aussie. He's a couple laps down now. He's just looking to survive here and get the points that he needs. We got Blue X8 still in the lead of this one by 2.1 seconds over Davo in P2. We've got Psycho lurking in P3. So last lap comparison, the top two guys basically replicated each other's lap times. We've got a 1/10 difference there between those two. And then we got Psycho a further 0.8 of a second down on Davo on the last lap. So last lap for Blue X8. The lap times are dying off for these guys. 2:20, 22.5 for Blue X8. A 2:21.6 for Davo on P2. And a 2:22.3 for Psycho. So the guys behind the race leader, Blue X8, are really starting to catch up to the rear end of his machine up into the lead of this one. We've got a retirement from Aussie by the looks of it, but he's set in stone in the playoffs. So he's got nothing to lose here. As we go down the back straight now, we're about to go 3 wide. We go side by side between Blue X8 and Psycho around the outside. He's not able to pull it off through the mid corner. So a bit limited on traction there due to being on the gravel there. And then we got Davo lurking in the background on the rear bumper of Psycho. These guys have been doing this for, I forgot how many laps now. It's been going on for pretty much the entirety of this race. But right on the rear bumper of Blue X8 now, Psycho. And the prime opportunity, a bump and run there. Your classic NASCAR type move around the outside at the carousel. And he's going to put himself up into a winning spot here. As Blue X8 has to take a detour onto the grass on the inside of the carousel. I don't reckon Blue X8 will be too happy with that. Now, Blue X8 is trying to get past Davo here. And those two make contact down the King Straight here. Davo is out of it. Doesn't look to have sustained too much damage from that contact. He's just trying to assess what damage has been caused there. Maybe a little bit of steering arm damage. We'll quickly go on board cockpit view to see the angle of the steering wheel down a straight. And he looks to have slight steering arm damage. Nah, that's not going to be bearable for him. So he's just going to have to return at the pit lane and repair that damage there. So Psycho out of nowhere. This is the sort of performance that gets you into the playoffs without the points required to get in. And Psycho with a commanding lead of 12 seconds over Blue XR8. Blue XR8 has come in the pit lane, but Davo has gone right past. So he's feeling quite comfortable with the stability of that car. And Blue XR8 with an unscheduled pit stop. He's losing positions galore here as he's been relegated back to P5. Now Titan is up in the P4 now. Now he's got a lot of clean air in front of him and behind him. We've got someone else make the playoffs. He must maintain top spot here. He's had a little bit of a moment up the hill there under the bridge. He's currently on lap 14 of 19, so he's still got a fair few laps to contend here to be able to class this as an official victory at Road America. But if it stays like this, we're going to have 4 different winners in the first 4 rounds. So it just shows you. So we'll quickly see who's got the fastest lap. Still held by Psycho and P1 there at 2:16.7. He did get pole position and currently he's going to get an extra bonus point for fastest lap of the race at this stage. So provisionally, he's going to come out with 7 bonus points. But he's not going to get any bonus points for where he'll finish in the normal season standings. So it's going to be very crucial that he maintains those 2 lots of bonus points there. The 5 bonus points is a must keep, because otherwise he will not make the playoffs without it. We'll go further back, see what's happening behind Psycho. We've got Davo in P2, Someone Awesome in P3, and we've got Titan in P4, Exo in P6, and Blue XR8 is all the way back in P6 now, almost a lap down. So he's just come out of pit lane a few moments ago, and he's still got a lot of visual damage on the front bonnet there. So all he can do now is pretty much go for fastest lap here at Road America, but he's went way too deep on the brakes on exit of the first sector there in the downhill braking zone. So Psycho up in the P1, almost about to lap Blue XR8, who's a couple of corners ahead of him down the road. As for Psycho, he's on lap 15 of 19, so he's currently got 4.5 laps to go. His last lap was a 2:18.5, so we're not getting nowhere near that fastest lap pace from these guys. As for Davo, his last lap was a 2:23.4. Someone Awesome, a 2:22.7. So the lap times are all over the place here in the later stage here at Road America for round 4 of the NASCAR Sunday Series. You've got Exo tracking well on P5, came in as the championship leader. And it looks like he's going to maintain the championship lead based on what happened with Blue XR8 through the mid-stage of that one. So he's going to come out with the 15 bonus points for coming on top of the leaderboards in the normal season. So it's going to be very helpful in his quest for championship glory here for the NASCAR Sunday Series. He's also in the mix for the Xfinity Series. He's one of our playoff contender drivers there. He's leading both the championships here for the Sunday Series. And he's lost the rear end a little bit at the carousel. He's had to cut the corner just a little bit. He's got Peppy in P7 there. He's a lap down. Looks like he's getting out of the way of a faster car. It's, just trying to track on who that is. I think that's Exo. So Exo just got past Peppy there. Those two guys just trying to organise themselves on track here. I don't think Peppy wanted to get past Exo because he would have had to let him by once again. So as for Psycho, he's got less than 4 laps to play here at Road America. And then he's an official playoff contender here for the NASCAR Sunday Series. He's lost the rear end once again on that uphill area. We might see our Titan or Exo's tracking. We'll just quickly go on board cockpit view of him. He'll take you around for a lap in 5th position here. Just going to have a quick rest here as he goes out wide at turn 1. So those tyres just looking to be hurt a little bit now. There's a little bit of contact with the outside wall. Barely holding on to the rear end there as he got one tyre out in the grass. So he's really trying to battle with the grip of this car here, Exo. It's not looking favourable in terms of how he wants the car to be able to be planted to the road here. Hope you enjoyed that on lap view with Exo, on board view rather. So we go back to trackside view, see where our leaders are tracking. So Davo on P2 got a slight lead over Titan in P3, but Davo's made a mistake where everyone has been making the same mistake, and that's going to be very costly because you can see Titan lurking in the background now. It's going to be a bit of fight to the end between these two. We know Titan is in a must-win situation as well, but he's too far down to be able to get the better of that scenario. And as for Psycho, he's one of those guys that must win, and he's currently leading this one. So here we go, Psycho with quite a comfortable lead at the top on the penultimate lap as he goes down the back straight now through the first sector. His last lap was a 2:22.4, so he's still tracking well with consistent race pace there. He goes out wide once again in the downhill braking zone. It's been quite a sector of a sequence of corners here where the drivers are really bidding their opportunities. Psycho almost got off the track there. A good car control kept him on the track. So Davo on P2. We got Titan in P3. Blue XR8 has currently got the fastest lap of the race now, so he's going to get the bonus point for fastest lap. He's got a 2:10 advantage over the race leader, Psycho. So Psycho has been pipped of one of those bonus points. Currently, he's got 6 to his name now, provisionally. But anything for Blue XR8 is an opportunity here to be able to put himself into a good spot for the playoffs. This championship contender, EXO, will be leading the playoff charge here, as he will have accumulated the most bonus points. So, Psycho coming out of the last corner for the second last time here around Road America. He's still got quite a comfortable fuel consumption in his car there. Or fuel load, rather. So, 8.9 litres to finish this one. Titan coming home in P2 at this stage. So, he's got that move made on Davo, who looks to be very unsettled in this later stage. His tyres look to be completely killed, so he's just going to have to limp it home. He's got a little bit of a structural damage by the looks of it on the front end, with the bonnet lifting up just a little bit. Because that's right, he made the contact with Blue XR8. It's just wrong place at the wrong time for those two guys. Just got caught up and their tyres interlocked. And then really nothing you can do from there. Someone awesome in P4. He sustained a lot of damage through the mid-stage of the race. He's just going to have to limp it home now. He could be quite happy with his performance because he will go straight to the playoffs. He's accumulated enough points to cement that spot. EXO also following station there. But I've got to correct myself from the comment I made earlier. EXO will start the playoffs in second, because he hasn't got a race win in the NASCAR series. He has in the Xfinity series. That means he'll come out second in the playoff scenario. But Blue XR8 will come out in the top spot in the playoff scenario, because he got the race win and he'll come home for second in points. So Psycho, he's in the mid-sector now, about to exit down the Kink Straight here at Road America. So we're going to see the sector split. Has he got anything in response? No, he doesn't. He's 5.7 seconds on it off his fastest lap now. So not able to get back that bonus point for fastest lap of the race. The Titans should be able to come home in P2. He's got a 4-second advantage over Davo in P3. You go a further 9 seconds back to someone awesome in P4. And then all scattered around the track here. EXO just got himself into the mid-sector now. He's went out wide under the bridge at the uphill section here. I think that's turn 4. Everyone's going off at turn 4. It's a very difficult corner to be able to judge because it's a blind uphill corner. You never know when you have to turn the car in. That's Blue XR8 just completely binning it at turn 1. So I think he went a lap down because Psycho's crossed the line. And those guys have detoured the escape road at turn 1. Titan's going to come home in P2, but it's not going to be enough to make the playoffs, I don't think. We'll wait and see. I'll correct myself if he has made the playoffs. We've got Davo coming home in P3. Someone awesome in P4. So we're still yet to see EXO and Peppy cross the line. But EXO is going to come home as the normal season champion here. That means he gets 15 bonus points to his name. That's going to be a very good charge for the championship in the playoffs in the final 4 rounds. But to keep in mind, if you win a race in the playoffs, you also cement your spot into the final 4 in the last round. So as for EXO, he's got quite a hefty points advantage at the top. If he's to not win a race in the next 3 races, he might be able to clinch it on points for the final spot. And then everyone's points will be reset for the final round at Texas Motor Speedway. to 2,000 points for the top 4. And whoever finishes in front of that pack of 4 drivers, that will be your champion. So he's just going to stay there or thereabouts. So there are your unofficial results for round 4 of the NASCAR Sunday Series here at Road America. I hope you enjoyed that installment. We'll quickly go on to what's to come next week. It's the first round of the playoffs to come. So here's what we got coming up next week. We'll see ourselves round 5, the first of the playoff rounds at Daytona International Speedway. And that will be for the Xfinity and NASCAR Sunday Series live from 4:45 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So from now, in between then, I hope you stay safe and have a good